Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Love it. Love it. Good morning. This year in 2024, April Fool's Day falls on the same day we changed daylight savings time. So the snow was all an illusion, just nature's little joke on us. If you are new to Unity, if this is your first time, I hope you received one of our LED light bulbs when you came in. We so appreciate you sharing your light with us that we'd like to return the favor. And we are a prayer ministry. If you have any concerns or celebrations that you'd like prayer support with, we have a prayer box over there. You can write the name, first names only, and it goes on to our prayer team. They'll pray with you for 30 days and Silent Unity for an additional 30 days. And on the other end of the Great Hall, we have a prayer station if you'd like something a little more interactive. It is Women's History Month. We have our Women's History flag up, so that time that we learn the history we weren't taught in school. A lot of our history was edited, so a lot more there for us to enjoy. So why are we gathered together today? Let's affirm our mission statement together. We spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, with each other, and with all creation. And this comes out of our vision where we see a world that is so powerfully transformed by a growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Not saying this is the right path and this is the wrong one, but that there are many paths. One presence, but many paths. So let us affirm together. The enlightenment of Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. And with that, let's join together in song and in consciousness with this beautiful invocation by Lucille Olson.
Great Spirit, Holy Source of light, let your light shine bright, shine within our hearts and minds so we reflect the purpose of our soul. May your love unfold, may your peace within our hearts abide.
Just breathe that in, and as we sing through that song about now it's time for the lion and the lambs to lie down together, and there's that old adage about March, in like a lamb, out like a lion, that may be proving true this year. Okay. There we go. Okay. Time for prayer as we join together in consciousness. And I caught myself that a lot of times when I think of torn countries, I think about the war. And I came across this article about Ukrainian amputees. So many of the soldiers have lost limbs, and they put together sports teams for the amputees. And so I invite you, as we pray this morning, to really open your heart up to not only bringing a more peaceful resolution to the war effort, but all the people that have been impacted in so many permanent ways. And speaking of sports, they've moved to transparency in baseball, which made me think that, if you haven't heard, they got new uniforms that are see-through. They're having a little difficulty with them, and it's the law to wear them, but I thought, maybe that's a little hint for us that we need to be a little more transparent in our life. Anyway, just work with that, however that takes you. Also, this was the planet's 9th highest temperature month. And I love this, Joe Lieberman said, global warming is not a conqueror to kneel before, but a challenge to rise to, that we're really being called to rise to whatever we can do to take better care of our planet selfishly for our livable existence. And then the last one, yesterday started Ramadan for our Islamic neighbors, and I thought, this is such a beautiful time of year, because those Christian, Protestant, Catholics are into this Lenten season where we relook at, what do we want to change within our life, and Ramadan is that time of, that they go deeper, Islamists go deeper to really what is their meaning of their faith. How can they better live their faith in their day-to-day life? And of course, we're getting ready to have the equinox as the light comes back ever more brighter. So it's just this wonderful time of year to grow in spirituality. So let's take a little time and open our heart to embrace all those things that are happening in the human experience. From minimal, silly mistakes that have little impact, it would seem, on all humanity, to those dire situations where there are struggles not just on a human level, but for all life on this planet. And for that intent of all those of a spiritual leaning, to dig ever more deeply into their faith, to their beliefs, to their connection to that oneness, that one light that has so many, many paths. For this time of reckoning, for acknowledgement and connecting, we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. Oh, a little conversation this morning. What do you assume if you have an appointment with somebody and you're late? What do you think the other people are thinking about you that you're late to meet up with? Or what do you think when somebody's late to meet up with you? What kind of thoughts are you having about that situation?
This one's kind of a hot button for me.
Is it?
When I was growing up, 15 minutes early was on time. On time was late. So we always arrived everywhere 15 minutes early.
Oh, wow.
And so it's kind of built into me. Jill, not so much. Not that she's running late all the time, it's just she's not as...
So what does it mean if somebody's late?
Well, that's the thing. I'm always thinking that it's rude. I feel like the other people are waiting, and that's not right of me to make anybody wait. And I realize that kind of thinking is like, I'm so important, but...
Yeah, this respect thing. They're not respecting my time. Yeah. They don't respect me.
Well, I just don't like to inconvenience people if I can help it, and I worry about them getting resentful that, whatever, I'm not on time. What about you?
Well, a lot of those same things, unless it's one of my kids. Then the fear comes out that they've been in an accident, or they didn't make it across the border, or...
all those worst case scenarios.
Yeah. My imagination just creates these incredible stories of...
Yeah, it's like it doesn't bother me as much when other people walk in late. It's just something I put on myself more than anything else.
My button is when I have an appointment and I'm there. And
your button is what?
Pushed when I have an appointment and I'm there, and the doctor's running an hour late.
Oh, yeah.
Or the dentist. Yeah.
It happens, but
I feel unrespected. Yeah.
Well,
so,
should we come together? Austin, do you want to help me with We Come Together? I think you can use that one, Steve, if you could turn that one on. Okay, let's get together. Oh, wait, this isn't it. This is One Big Family, even though the slide said, well, you're welcome to stay up here and sing it with me if you want.
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's join together One Big Family, which is what we are.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh.
On. Yeah. Good morning. I'm Winalee, your platform assistant for today. Unity's daily word for today is timeless, inspired by the book of Revelation. Quote, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth has passed away." End quote. We relax and let go, withdrawing our attention from our surroundings. Breathing deeply and rhythmically, our mind relaxes and our heart opens. We enter our sacred inner sanctuary. Here, we have no awareness of time. We hear no words. We think no thoughts. We feel no separation. There is only the richness of silence, the awesome presence of infinite life, love, and wisdom. We are one with this presence. The time and attention we devote to our regular practice of meditation builds deep, abiding peace and clarity in our consciousness. In these timeless moments, we discover we have all that we need: enough strength, understanding, love, and time to progress along our paths and accomplish all that is ours to do. Let us affirm together. In timeless moments in the silence, I discover myself anew. Let's take a deep breath in on that. Yes. Although Anne Frank only lived 16 years on this planet, she had enough time to leave us wisdom that is truly timeless. In spite of her circumstances of living hidden, she wrote this wonderful reminder for us, honoring Women's History Month. Anne Frank's quote, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." Thank you, Anne Frank. And now, that is a perfect introduction into my share of Rob Ricardo's song, Settling In. And I just returned from 2 weeks in the ocean, my home, and I have returned to settling in by being in the land that I love, the sea. Enjoy. So many questions I have along the way, so little answers by the end of the day. But what I learned by now, that the lesson is every moment has its messages. Well, it took a while to find. I truly love who I've become. I'm settling down into my soul, finding me out. I'm feeling home, coming together, the planets align, rooting for once, uniting body and mind. Oh, it's been a long time. Oh, I'm finally settling in, into my soul. So many places I still have left to be, so many sages I still have left to meet, for all the sights to see and all the things to do. No matter where I go, I'll always come right home to you. It wouldn't be the same if I didn't find you along the way. I'm settling down into my soul, finally found I'm feeling at home, coming together, the planets align, rooting for once, uniting body and mind. Oh, it's been a long time. Oh, I'm finally settling in, into my soul, into my soul. And for all the things I've done, I know this journey's just begun. I'm settling down into my soul, finding me out. I'm feeling at home, coming together, the planets align, rooting for once, uniting body and mind. Oh, it's been a long time. Oh, I'm finally settling in. into my soul. Into my soul.
Whoa. Oh, that was delightful. It's like a wonderful self-love song. Oh, should we all have that wonderful beauty of settling into our soul? Oh, we've started something now. We're settling in. Okay, well, I have a story for you to start out with this morning. And ironically, we do a quest class here, excuse me, in person on Tuesday afternoons. And you know how some stories keep coming up, and this came up in my talk today, for today. So there's this farmer who is out one day, and he found this wild horse, and he brought him home, and his neighbors all came by and said, "Man, you are so lucky. Look at you, you found a free horse." And he says, "Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm not." Then a few days later, the horse ran away. His neighbors went, "Oh, you have such bad luck. This is so terrible. You lost your horse." And he goes, "Yeah, well, maybe yes, maybe no." Well, next week, what shows up but his horse with a whole herd of wild horses? His neighbors go, "Wow, you just have all the blessings in the world. You just, wonderful. You must be doing your unity affirmations, right?" And he says, "You know, maybe it's good, maybe it's not." Well, he had a son who helped him work the farm, and his son went out. These horses are beautiful, and he hopped on one to see if he, train it to be ridden. And the horse was wild and threw him off, and he broke his leg. So now he can't help his father anymore. Well, his helpful neighbors came by and said, "Oh, you have such bad luck, you poor man. Look at these awful things that happened to you." Oh, and he says, "Well, maybe it's bad, maybe it's not." And then the next day there's a knock on the door, and it's soldiers conscripting all the young men to join the army. But his son has a broken leg, so they can't conscript him into the army. I said, "You are just so lucky." He has, well, maybe yes, maybe no. So think about it. His neighbors just kept making these assumptions based on their opinions of what happened, but we never quite know what the outcome's going to be. We never quite know the why until we live into it. So today we're going to be talking about the third of the four agreements: don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. And this is what Don Riaz calls in his book the meiote, this smoky illusion. We cannot ever see the truth. We have this misperception of life based on a lot of agreements that we have made in our own head, in our own agreements. He calls it the dreams. It's like we're living in a dream, and we have been taught into these agreements. This is what's right. This is what's normal. This is what everybody does. This is your supposed tos. This is your ought tos that we hear echoing that he talks about it. So just as a quick review, this is about coming up to find freedom for ourselves from this fog, from being controlled by these dreams that we have, these things, these misperceptions of the reality and the truth of life. Thinking about the Apostle Paul, if you haven't ever read the Bible, you've probably heard some of these verses that he wrote, because it's often at weddings where he says, love is patient, love is kind. You'll see it on greeting cards. And a little further past the thing about love, he says this really interesting thing. He says, "When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put away the ways of childhood." It says, "For now I see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am known fully." Boy, this sounds like us working on ourselves. We want to get by that smoky mirror. We want to get through the illusions to really know who we are and what the world that we live in really is. And that's the part I wanted to focus on. But the last line of this chapter is just so beautiful. You've seen this one before too. "And of all these things, three remain: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love." And when you're thinking about the four agreements, in many ways it's allowing us to love not just more, but to love unconditionally. Because all these things that we've made the smoky agreements about separate us from others. And yet within us is this great desire to love and connect with others. So there's this kind of paradox happening with this. This is what we want to do, but this is what we are doing. So how do we clear this fog? How do we, clean your glass? If you're a glassware, I'm always amazed when I clean my glasses how much clearer the world is. And that's kind of what we're trying to do to our mind. So we started out with being impeccable with our word. Impeccable means like without sin, without error in our word. And I'll put even our little picadillos. Picadillos are kind of small, seemingly innocuous things. But I remember as a child being told that white lies were okay. You remember, that was, if you don't like somebody's dress and you go, oh, you look nice today because you don't want to hurt their feelings, so your intentions are great. That's a little picadillo, right? But that's not being impeccable with our word. Remember, our words, the universe doesn't go, oh, that's just a little thing that doesn't mean anything. No, our words are a vibration that gets set in motion and can pick up other vibrations with it and become bigger and bigger and bigger. And then don't take anything personally, remembering that we're all looking through the clouds. We are, and so are the other people. So I had this little sign last week that when people are saying things that seem like they're criticizing me, remember it's all about them, because they're seeing through the cloud, they can't see me. And if you catch yourself criticizing somebody else, remember that it's all about me. These are all my agreements in my head. This is the dream that I'm living, that I'm seeing. These are the judgments that I have made, oftentimes prejudgments, if you will. And when we get into this part, recognizing what we're doing, sometimes we find ourselves at fault. But really, in many ways, it's what we've been taught. And we've been taught it so long ago. As children, we think it's us. It's become part of us. So Don Ruiz talks about letting the dream catchers catch this dream, these misdreams, as you will. I hung up our dream catcher there that Unity of North Kansas City had made for us after the fire. Letting, it's almost like having a strainer to strain out the lumps in your gravy. You're going to strain away that fog of misperception, if you will. And today is about don't make assumptions. We all know it, don't make an ass out of you and me, right? I mean, once you could never hear the word assumption without hearing that thing behind it. The thing of it is, we make an assumption, we believe they're true. And boy, do we like to be right. So if we made an assumption, which has to be right because we made it, and we know, then we're going to defend it to the death, right? And this puts us into this whirlwind of creating drama that takes us right into hell, as we talked about in the quest this week. We talked about heaven and hell, that we start blaming people, pointing fingers, they're wrong. We create a lot of otherness in our world. I mean, this is really getting into a hellish drama. And Charles Fillmore said that hell is useless, unnecessary suffering. And really what it means is based on the word Gehenna, which means a burning garbage dump. And there's a burning garbage dump, and boy, doesn't that look like our artistic pictures of hell. And of course, we know that hell is it's a state of consciousness. We put ourselves through hell all the time, that little addiction to drama that we have from time to time. And as I shared in the Quest class, Pope Paul he really said that heaven and hell is not a place, it's a state of consciousness. So, and boy, we've all had hellish days. And very often we were part of the co-creators of those hellish days, but that's another one. So here's how to get to hell and back. Right? Okay. Here's how you get to hell. Make an assumption, and then you start gossiping about that person or that situation. You start spreading the story. It's a gossip because you've made an assumption. You don't know that it's true. Seems like it's true. You've made it right in your head. And then we start sharing that very important right information. And then we don't ask any questions to get clarification or to find out any more information about it, right? Because we're right. Why do we need more information if we already know it all? And then whatever we hear, we collect evidence to make sure that we're right. And you know how any fact can be twisted. Any fact can support. I mean, the Bible has been used to condemn and to bless the same thing. Right? It's all in that matter of interpretation. So you can see how it's just a slippery slope that we can get into on that. Everything that we see and hear, it's like there's this perfectly made, tailored idea that will fit our rightness. And knowing that we misinterpret everything. Even with the best of intentions, we misinterpret. But we don't have to live in hell, and we don't even have to visit there. We can become conscious of it. Anybody that's done fire walking, the real key thing is that you keep moving. You don't stay in hell. You don't stay on the fire. You walk through it. You keep on moving. I want to tell you a story about Herlinda Estrade and her husband, Jose Hernandez. This happened in Baytown, Texas. And it was a Saturday morning, and Jose had gone out for a run out in some nearby woods. And coincidentally, that same morning, another man had gone out running in the woods, about the same age. And when he was out on the trail, he had a heart attack and died. Somebody found him laying. They rushed him to a hospital. There was no way to revive him. And the only thing they found in his pocket was a car key, General Motors car. And so some people took it back to the parking lot that was near the hiking trail and tried it in a vehicle. And don't you know, this key fit into Jose's truck. And then they got out the registration paper. They called Herlinda to say that her husband was deceased and she needed to come to the hospital to identify him. So she goes there, goes in to identify the body. Now, he's got a tube down his throat. He's got tape on his eyes. This guy had similar clothes on to what her husband had, and she's in the state of, you can imagine, shock and grief, and she agreed that that was her husband. So she goes back out in the waiting room where the family is. Everybody's crying about this loss. Meanwhile, Jose gets back from his hike, gets into the house, he gets a phone call. This woman says, "What are you doing answering the phone? You're supposed to be dead." And so he rushes over to the hospital to see his wife, and by the way, they did take the key back, and they found another General Motors car that it fit. They got the right identity, so I'm not going to leave you hanging on that. He walks in. Now, can you picture this? The whole family there is grieving this unexpected loss. And his wife sees him, and she goes, "If you ever die on me again, I'm going to kill you." But, I mean, couldn't you justify that assumption? I mean, you know, he was out there, they found the keys to the car, on and on and on. And, you know, many times we make assumptions with a lot less evidence of that, but to her, everything she saw, I mean, the dead body, though it wasn't her husband of many years, she saw it as her husband, right there in front of her. So assumption is really part of the acting out of this wonderful faculty we have of imagination. Luann will be doing a stage on it in June, on the first Sunday in June. But you think about it, it's almost like it's a power boost, imagination is, to making assumptions, if you will. And everything, imagination is such a great gift that we have. Nothing has ever been created that we use in this world, or don't use, that didn't come first from the imagination. Somebody saw the chair. Imagine the chair that you were sitting in. Somebody had to have the idea first of something that wasn't until it became something that was. This wonderful, wonderful gift we have. But the power of imagination is really kind of a maybe yes, maybe no. You don't get too attached to what you imagine. It's a possibility, but there's lots of possibilities out there. But once we imagine it, the thought came from us. Therefore, we got to assume that it's right. And so we make up these stories, then we act from our stories, because that was, you just know. You know just deep down there's something vibrating. This is the truth. This is what we need to do. But really, imagination is kind of the cousin of the monkey mind, or what Ruiz calls the parasite, that kind of eats up our good feelings and our karma and stuff. It can take us down those really bumpy roads of possibilities and awfuls. And that imagination, when it gets twisted around to things, can take us right back to hell. Poof, you know, just like that. Poof, there we are. And it also takes us from the idea of guilt, because we imagine that, you know, we've done something wrong sometimes, and then it spirals right into, well, we're going to blame somebody else. I mean, this wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't be guilty if they hadn't done this. I mean, how easy that is. I know you can all think of a little story, maybe you're squinting about it inside, that, yeah, when you did that, you just, you know, family splits very often happen over these little assumptions that we make and go on for generation after generation after generation. So if you take these first three agreements, you're being impeccable with your word, you're not taking things personally, and you're trying really hard not to make assumptions. You begin using your imagination impeccably, without sin, without error, that you allow yourself to imagine the wonderfulness that can be about things. And if you don't take anything personally, because you know you, honest to God, are not the center of everybody else's universe. You're the center of your own universe, and you're living your own dream. Everybody else has their dream too. And that's a big come down from being the center of everybody's universe to only being the center of your one. And if you keep your assumptions corralled, like those wild horses, keep them corralled, you can really let this imagination soar to new ideas that are benefiting and supportive and wonderful and expanding, because it is a wonderful gift that we have. So the idea is tame the horse, right? Or ride it, or direct the horse. Our imagination is the horse. And if it's dead, get off it. Okay, so let's cut to the chase. There are things I've imagined that are absolutely impossible, and at some point you stop investing energy into it. Assumptions come from this kind of assumption of knowledge. What we know, what we don't know, and what we'll never know. If you think about it, if what you know is this big, what you don't know is the circumference around it, which is bigger than what you know. And if you're to put a circumference around what you don't know, think how much big this circumference is. And this is the things you don't even know that you don't know. I remember when I went to ministerial school. Did I put that up there? Yeah. When I first went in, just like anybody starting a new class, a new program, you're starting high school, you're starting college, you start ministerial school, and you feel really smart. I mean, you just feel like you know so much, and you want to share it. And then you start learning things. And by the time I finished, what I thought I knew had shrunk down to this. Because I knew how much I didn't know. That had just gotten so much bigger than anything I could even imagine. But right now, think about it. Is there any other person in this room right now that you know exactly what they're thinking or feeling? I do. No. Me, I'm just joking on that. Okay, think about if there's a dog in a crate and you look at this dog in the crate. Do you think the dog is feeling safe, or do you think the dog is feeling trapped? See, there's absolutely no way you can know. What you're doing is projecting your dream on this animal. If you're having a need to feel safe, you would say, oh, yeah, this dog's feeling. If you have a need to feel freedom, feeling this dog is feeling trapped. And we do this all the time. You know, it's easy to make this analogy with the dog, but think about how we do this with other people. Oh, they're trapped in that relationship. Oh, they're doing so well in that relationship. That job, that health condition, whatever it is that they're doing, like we make that judgment through our dream. Funny thing is, it doesn't matter if the answer is right, just having one makes us feel better. Think about that. We don't care if it's the right answer. We just need an answer so we can kind of tidy that up, stick it in the drawer, and wipe our hands. That's done. I know all I need to know about it and walk away from it. Right? Yeah, okay. So why do we assume then? Why do we assume? Well, think about it. Somebody tells us something, or when do we assume? If somebody tells us something, we automatically hear it through our ears, our perception. So we already have assumptions coming. When somebody doesn't tell us something, we know something's going on. We know. They don't have to tell us, we know what's going on. That's an assumption. And how about when somebody tells us something that we don't understand? You get that kind of wild-eyed look on your face, deer in the headlight look, and then you go, oh yeah, I get it. And you walk away. And you've already started making assumptions, what they must have meant from that as you're trying to sort through it all. And the reason we do assume is because we have this smoky mirror agreement that leads us kind of down this path. So there's two ones that really seem to be in action during this. The first one is it's not safe to ask questions. See, assumptions cut down our communication with each other. It stops the talk because we're talking enough ourselves inside. And I remember as a kid, the day I learned to stop asking questions. I had learned this magic word, why? I love to keep adults talking. And if they told me something, I would go, why? And they would give me a response, and I would say, why? And then they would ask another, and I would say, why? And I could say why. There was no end to the amount of times I could say why. And the adult is getting a little short by that point. And then somebody got bad one time, and I learned, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't ask questions. Maybe I just sit behind and kind of eavesdrop and, overhear what's going on. Anybody else do that as a kid? Yeah. yeah. So we learn it's not safe to ask questions. Just shut up and eavesdrop, yeah. How about this one? If people really loved us, they'd know what we want or what we need or how we feel. Anybody ever think that? I do. Somebody very close to me gives me a present, and I go, what were they thinking? We've been together for so long. They've known me for so long. Why in heaven's name would they think I wanted that? That somehow we think if we're in love with somebody, we have a great friendship, or we're related to somebody, immediately they're a mind reader. Immediately they have like a little cable plug, and they can know what we're thinking. And of course, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I assume you know what I'm talking about. Okay. I assume you know what I'm talking about. Well, with that, we're going to go into a time of meditation. I assume you're ready for it. And it's... And normally when we go into meditation, we take a time to kind of still the mind. And today we're going to do a little thing where we kind of invite the imagination a little bit to busy the mind a little bit with possibilities. So I'm just going to ask you to just take a moment and take that deep breath. We can still our bodies and allow us to relax. And maybe put your hands, palms up and open on your lap in that wonderful area where you can receive. A wonderful willingness to receive. As we take our deep breaths and turn internally, gathering the monkey mind, the parasite, gathering all that we know, all that we don't know, and all that we don't even know we don't know. Allow a simple thought to come to the surface of all these ideas, all these dreams. What is one thing that you have made an assumption about? In a world that has so many divisions, politically, religiously, sometimes even in households where there is tension, there's been an assumption made, a rightness within your own mind, and just allow that to clearly speak to you right now. It seems so factual. It seems so true. But right now, take it a little bit deeper and ask if there is one other alternative explanation. Could that one assumption, that one fact, is there a possibility of another that might be equally as valid, equally as true? As we allow our imagination to explore possibilities, the energy that we had invested in that first one and only suddenly becomes shared between two possibilities. From fact to possibility. And if you can find one other possibility, then there can be two and three. So now that that door is open, it's like allowing that single horse to become a herd. What other possibilities could be a perspective in this situation? Unlikely or not, matters not. But still a possibility. Another way to interpret. Another label, perhaps beyond something that is good or bad. Maybe it's a process. Maybe it's a journey. Maybe it's one step in a journey. As we allow that assumption to expand to so many other arenas and paths, we find the energy originally invested in our perceived truth becoming dissipated until we are finally free of the shackles of the fog in this one minute thought. We are free in this specific situation, perhaps, from the shackles that separate us, that tempt us to judge, that move us in a path that separates as opposed to brings together. So let us just sit with this amazing geyser of possibilities for our own personal freedom. With our next breath, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit more comfortable because we have given up that bondage to rightness. And so it is. Amen.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we
Thank you. Thank you. So, spiritual practice for the week. Don't make assumptions. It's Lent, so give up your assumptions and practice communication. Ask. It's okay. I give you permission. Give up the drama of for and against and practice non-resistant peace. With that, I'm going to invite Winalee to come up and take us down that road of love.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone. I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by love. Oh, I'm surrounded by love. Such love. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with love. Oh, I am filled with love. Such love. Oh, the love of my life is here. 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 Love is, 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 love is here. Sing with me, repeat. I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by love. I'm surrounded by love. Oh, I'm surrounded by love. Such love. You might want to dance. I'm just saying. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with love. Oh, I am filled with love. Such love. Beautiful. Oh, the love of my life is here. 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 Love is, 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 love is here. Yes. Woo. Yeah. I was looking for these. No assumptions. They're here. Yeah. Now is the time we create a sacred circle of generosity by sharing of the blessings we have received. We know that the gift we give is not a debt we owe, it is a seed we sow from a consciousness of abundance. If you're donating by check or cash, place your gift in the glass jar on the table. If you're donating electronically or by other means, take a moment to place your hand over the jar or your heart. You may also hold one of the affirmation tokens. We bless our gifts as we share our love and our treasure by affirming together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. Entering the circle of generosity, we thank everyone, oh my goodness, the teams here, for continued generosity of support, of unity through so many channels, electronically, by mail, and in person. Our circle of generosity includes acts of gratitude for these gifts by sharing our gifts with others. And big gratitude from my heart personally, you voted to share our ties this quarter with Share a Bike, an organization that repairs bikes and distributes them at no charge to refugees, immigrants, and others in need of transportation. My husband has worked and donated time, volunteered for decades now. So it's such a great organization. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. We'll continue our blessings by singing, I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Beautiful. I'd like to invite Derek to lead us in the blessings of the gifts we have received as a community. Derek, let us. Oh my gosh, 10? No way, 2 days? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Let us take a moment to deeply immerse ourselves in gratitude by collectively blessing the gifts received on your table. Derek, would you lead?
Given in love, received in love. We dedicate these gifts to do the will and the work of Holy Spirit. Who is. Amen.
Thank you, Derek. Such a gift, such a gift. Today, following the service, is our 9th annual members meeting. Following the Sunday service, everyone may attend, but only members who have renewed their membership by the beginning of the meeting may vote. If you're a member, be sure to sign in prior to the meeting. If you have not renewed your membership, you have an opportunity to renew before the start of the meeting. Hope to see you there as we plan for 2024.
Okay. Just a reminder that the chili potluck will be after the meeting, and we've set it up different this time. We've got a chili bar, fixings are in the center, and then we've got salads and we've got desserts. So you'll have to wait to enjoy all that good food, but it'll be good. Thank you.
As I said, amazing teams, amazing, amazing. And then, next week is Invite a Friend Sunday. Who are you going to invite? Think about that. In honor of St. Patrick's Day, you're encouraged to wear something green. We have fun and participatory service planned. Following the service is our monthly Euchre and Games Day. And just a little side note, it is the 76th So Sharon is seeing, she's using her imagination, seeing 76 friends come. A reminder for choir rehearsal next Sunday, 9:15, performance at 10:30 service. So please make sure you put that on your calendar and join the fun. March Unity Pulse is on your table. Please take one to use as a handy reference for classes and activities, of which there are many at Unity and offered during the month. Posters for events are on the information rack as well as our website, unity.org. Let's stand as we are able to create a circle of consciousness as we sing the peace song, followed by the prayer of protection. Since colds and flus are reaching a peak, we encourage you to refrain from holding hands. Permission to choose.
Surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And the meeting will start at noon. Make sure you're signed up. You can get a cup of coffee while you're waiting. We need to get some changeovers to set up for Zoom for those that are joining us virtually.